Hey guys, and welcome to the second Note Me Up Let's Code tutorial. So in this one I haven't done a great deal of coding. It's more kind of just getting your head around like the idea and the concept of what we're doing. So all I've done so far on the main page, so if you're following from the previous video or if you haven't seen the previous video, then you can just go to the link in the description below and you'll find the first tutorial's zip file which you can download and kind of chop apart. So what we've done is we had all of this before, all of the kind of creating the app bar, but what we didn't have is this code down here. Now this is the add click event for the button that's going to be on the bottom navigation bar of the main page, which will be to create new notes. Now what I've got is a new page that I've created called add note page. Now you'll notice here that when we go to that page, before we even go to it, we're actually setting a variable on that page to false. Now I'll explain why. So this is the add note page. Here we've got the title and the content, so we've got title TB and content TB, and there is no button because again we're using the application bar. So same thing as last time, we have this app bar, but the difference is we have a public static boolean value which we will be using to determine whether or not the person is creating a new note or if they're editing a note. So I know I've called it add note page, but it's also going to be the edit page. So all we've got is a boolean here called edit, and we've got it set to equal false, but before we ever go to the page we will set whether it's true or false. So in this case it's false, and what that means is when it goes to create the app bar, the edit if edit equals true, then it will actually add an extra button to the bar which will be to delete the note. So if the user is basically, created a note, they'll always have the save button, so they're saving a new note or saving an old note, but they'll determine whether or not they're going to get the delete button, because there's no point in having a delete button if you haven't actually created it in the first place. Obviously there will be other things that we use the edit for example, if edit is true, we'll probably do it in the initializing part up here, we'll have it pull the content of that note and populate the page, but obviously we don't have that content generated yet, so we can't add that section, but it's kind of planning forward for the idea. So yeah, so all we've got really is a save button on this page here. We've got the today's date thing again, just they know what the date is today, that they're doing their note. And yeah, we just got save, delete, the click event for save and the click event for delete. The only other thing we have got is on the two boxes we've got enter title and enter content, and that's just to kind of help the user understand what they're doing with those boxes. So what we've got is a tap event for the title text box and one for the content text box, and what that will be is just if title text box text is equal to enter title, which has to be written exactly as it is in the box, and it will be equal to that, and if they tap on it when it's got that content in there, it will just clear the box out for them. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and run up the emulator. Okay, so here's our add note button, which will now take us through to our page. Notice there is only a save button. There isn't any other kind of button. It doesn't do anything yet, but anyway, you can see it. So then the tap event, so here we've got the tap event that we're hoping is going to run, and when we click on it, you'll notice that the content actually then vanishes from the boxes. But then if you type something else in there, and then you tap back onto it, it won't delete it because the text in that box doesn't equal the text that we've got in the if statement. And now what we can do is we can just check that the text is check that the boolean value we put in actually works. So when we go to the page, rather than sending over the boolean to be false, if we set it to be true, theoretically we should see a delete button, which doesn't matter now because the delete buttons don't work. Yeah, there you go. So we can see that we now actually have the option to save or delete. So this in theory would have been a note that had already been created, and that we've actually gone into edit. So just make sure we change that back to false, and make sure that that's updated, which it has. Okay, so in the next video what we're going to try and do is actually save one of these notes with its title and its content and its date, so that we can kind of order it. I'm trying to decide whether or not we're going to order it in the date it was created or the date and time that it was edited. I'm still thinking about that. Maybe I'll put both the options in, which could be a pain, but it'll be good to show you how you can do that. And yeah, so basically if you've got a preference, if you'd rather see it in date order or you'd rather see it in the most recently edited order, can you just put a comment in the video, because if you all kind of want it one way, then it saves me coding twice. So feel free to let me know if you think it should be on this page here, listing the notes in date order that you created them, or date and time order that you edited them. So that's it for the second Let's Code tutorial on the Note Me Up. Let me know what you think of the video. Don't forget to subscribe, check me out on Twitter and check out my Patreon page. I'll see you in the next video.